Hey folks, welcome back for another build video where we are revisiting our previous Infinite Grenades build. Now with any clickbait title, that's not entirely true. You can obviously still use up all of your grenades, but if you follow the link in the description to the earlier version of that build, you will see that it is focused around Acosta's go bag and the Mad Bomber chest talent. So the primary reason that we are revisiting this build is because of the release of the new named chest Carpenter from the new Langmo brand set, which comes with the perfectly Mad Bomber talent, where now grenade radius is increased by 75% instead of just 50%, though the rest of the details remain the same. You gain 15% bonus armor while aiming, grenades can now be cooked, and grenades that kill an enemy are refunded. So that second paragraph there is still fundamental to the purpose of this build. Getting grenade kills refunds those grenades, which if you're really skillful and time them right, it allows you a theoretically infinite number of grenades on this build. And as was present on the last version of this build, two things that are really helping that along are 2 pieces of Grupo Sombra giving us 15% explosives damage, and then 1 piece of China Light doing the exact same thing. Now, while the primary reason that we're revisiting this build is because of the chest piece here, I'm actually glad that this was put out and it gave me a chance to do so, because there are a couple of other modifications that I've made to this build. Now, even though I am rambling for a long time, this video will be a shorter one. I'm not going to go through the same level of explanation that I did on the previous videos. So if you watch this video and have any questions, please follow the link in the video description or in the card above to hear my full reasoning as to why I included each piece that I did on this build. But with that out of the way, let's talk about some of the changes between this build and the previous version. So on the previous version of this build, we went with the capacitor as our secondary weapon, as it could increase our skill damage, which at the time increased the skill damage of both our turret and our cluster seeker mines. But as you can see down there, the addition of the bulwark ballistic shield in favor of the turret means that upping our skill damage isn't nearly as important as it used to be. And on top of that, the Scorpio is just a great stun lock weapon for when you get into a fix. You can get yourself out of it with this secondary weapon. Though that is all to say, because of the Bulwark Ballistic Shield, the primary weapon that you're going to be using with this build is the TDI card Custom, which because of the unique secondary attribute of a +1 skill tier there, means that you're going to be at 6 skill tiers despite having an armor core on your chest piece. With that, I'm going to skip over both the mask and the bag, which are the same from the previous version of the video. It's just an electric mask and Acosta's go bag, which is very important to the build, but I did already talk about it at length in the previous version. So we'll skip right down to the chest piece here. I already talked about it a little bit, but it's part of the new Langmo brand set, which comes with the core attribute of armor, and then I have rolled status effects and skill damage down there in the secondary attribute slots. And then we've equipped skill haste in the mod slot, and that's present across all 3 of our mask, backpack, and chest piece there. And then of course it comes with the perfectly Mad Bomber talent, where again, the primary benefit of this is increasing your radius from 50% to 75% additional radius on your thrown grenades. And while at first you may not think that seems like that much, but I will go ahead and try and throw a side-by-side up here right now so you can see just how much larger your thrown radius is for your grenades. And again, given how much larger the area of effect is on both your concussion and your survivalist incendiary grenades, it just makes this build a lot easier to work with. And on top of that, now you can reach that many more enemies with each one of your grenade throws, meaning you are that much more likely to kill an enemy with a grenade, thereby refunding it thanks to this chest talent. So with that, we'll breeze through our gloves and our holster, both of which are Grupo Sombra SA with their core attribute rerolled to skill tier. As you can see there, we've got a smattering of status effects, skill damage, and skill haste in the attribute slots. I think any of those 3 are good enough to roll the core attribute to a skill tier. And then for our knee pads, because we don't have China Light on our chest piece anymore, we have moved it to our knee pads, given that that 15% explosives damage from our 1-piece brand bonus of China Light is far more important than the 1-piece brand bonus of Golden Gear, which was just 10% status effects. And then on top of that, we have skill damage and status effects again in the attribute slots here. And then wrapping up, we'll go to our skills here. We have the Bulwark Ballistic Shield and the Cluster Seeker Mines. The Cluster Seeker Mines, there is no change here from the previous version. Because we're speccing into explosive damage so heavily, I just felt that the Cluster Seeker Mines is a great way to take advantage of this build. And because of the number of enemies that you can reach with the Cluster Seeker Mines at skill tier 6, I just felt it was too great a benefit to pass up. And then on top of that, we've swapped out the turret for the bulwark ballistic shield here. After running this build solo for long enough, I realized that it was really beneficial to be able to run around not stuck in cover to use this build to aim your grenades. And because we have 5 skill tiers and an armor core, when we equip our bulwark ballistic shield, we have a tier 6 shield, which just has a massive amount of health there. And as you'll see later in the video, allows you to just face tank your enemies and aim your grenades with ease. Obviously, you still have to watch your angles, as this only blocks forward facing enemy fire. But provided you keep that in mind, this is just a great way to move around, get angles on your targets, and just chuck grenades at them endlessly until they go down. So that's it for this one. Again, tried to keep this one quicker given that we are just revisiting an old build and updating it with new gear pieces. But let me know what you think in the comments below of both the Carpenter chest piece and this build overall. Would love to hear your thoughts. As always, like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this, and tell your friends about the channel so you can continue to help us grow and make videos like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Are you here to surrender your life? You will see. Get away! Help!
Hostile supply convoy detected.
Okay, okay.
Weak spot there!
Incoming hostiles detected.
For it!
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
I'll get around it!
Ah, fuck!
Bring them down!
Shield. Fuck! Where is it vulnerable? Go, 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 go! I'll open them up.
I'll keep them busy! Shit!
You're toasted.
Shit! Fucking cheap armor! Go!
Anyone else still alive? I see you! Run, rabbit! shoot!